the, quote, father of IVF.
What does that even mean? He is the one who, by the way, is responsible for it being at risk in the first place.
Harris upping her warnings about a second Trump term, hammering the message that he is a danger to democracy, going after Trump's suggestion that he would use the military to go after his opponents.
Will Donald Trump return to Wisconsin anytime soon? TMJ4 chief political reporter Charles Benson tells WTMJ.
Do I think Donald Trump will be here more than once? Yes, definitely one more time. He already indicated that when he was here the last time in Milwaukee. He said he planned on coming here and Green Bay. So there will be more events with Donald Trump.
Meanwhile, 5 cast members from the hit NBC political drama The West Wing, including Martin Sheen, will head to Wisconsin for a combination of Harris campaign canvassing this weekend and 25 years of the West Wing events. They'll be held in Waukesha, Milwaukee, and Madison. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says his country will press on with the wars in Gaza and Lebanon. And Thursday, President Biden said now was a good time for a Gaza ceasefire following the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar on Wednesday. Netanyahu said later in the day Sinwar's killing was a milestone, but vowed to continue the war in Gaza. National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby in Germany with President Biden today told reporters.
Sinwar was the main obstacle to getting a ceasefire done. Every time his political advisors we'd negotiate with and through them to come up with a proposal. It would have to get to him. Of course, that took time because of the communications challenges, and then he would just refute it.
President Biden meeting with European allies in Berlin today. He's expected to discuss allied cooperation on issues ranging from the Middle East to the war in Ukraine. One Direction paying tribute to their former bandmate Liam Payne following his death, releasing a joint statement Thursday, said they are completely devastated and will take some time to grieve and process their loss. The craft beer industry seeing a downward trend for a second year in a row. Craft beer saw no growth in 2023 for the first time ever, not including the pandemic, and minus a 1% production decline for 2024. That's the worst on record since the Brewers Association began tracking industry data in the late 1970s. Nearly a year after Milwaukee County sales tax increased to 0.9%, Rob Henkin of the Wisconsin Policy Forum tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News the increase hasn't been noticeable yet.
Inflation is high, no matter how you look at that. That's bad news for the most part. But the one area where it is good news is that as the cost of goods and services, as those prices go up, sales tax collections, which are a percentage of the price of the goods and services, those go up as well.
The county originally projected this year's sales tax increase would raise county revenue by $82.2 million. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 86 points, the NASDAQ up 112, the S&P 500 is up 14. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:05.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
Well, all right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Matschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
It's bird bashing season when you swoop into Potawatomi. Thursdays, you could win up to a wicked 50 grand cash in the Bird Bash Game Show. Just play with your rewards card all October for entries. All Bird Bash entries go towards a December 20th giveaway with a monstrous 300 grand in prizes. Bird Bash makes its bewitching return. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Learn more at paysbig.com/birdbash. Must be 21 years old to play.
Siding Unlimited named the best window installers, not just here, but in the whole USA. Get the best. Siding Unlimited, 3-time winner as America's best window installer. For windows, you call Siding Unlimited first and directly. SidingUnlimited.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Cleveland Guardians keeping hopes alive in the American League Championship Series after winning Game 3 7-5 over the Yankees. They'll be looking to even the series today. The Bucks got crushed by the Mavericks 109-84 in the preseason finale from Dallas. Wisconsin squares off against Northwestern from Evanston tomorrow morning. They're 4-2. Packers hope to carry momentum into a tough Week 7 matchup, battling C.J. Stroud and the Texans from Lambeau Field on Sunday afternoon. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. A few things off right. The right shoulder closed I-94 east about a mile and a quarter beyond the ramp from County Road F in Waukesha County. There's also a disabled vehicle on the exit to County G from I-41 94 south.
Traffic is sponsored by Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny, breezy, mild today, high 68. Overnight lows tonight, lower to upper 40s. Sunny, breezy, warm tomorrow with a high of 70. Even warmer on Sunday with a high 75. Sunny skies. Sunny and warm on Monday, a high 74. Then a chance of a shower moving in on Tuesday, partly cloudy with a high of 70. 53 in Madison, 57 in Green Bay, and 55 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy Friday. Love hearing that forecast. Absolutely stunning, beautiful. Sun is shining all across the region. Great to see. Today, fun topic indeed. One that I always say is not a Republican issue, is not a Democrat issue. It is a simple quality of life business issue. That is transit. Yesterday's Mobilized Leadership Roundtable at No Studios right here in Milwaukee featured an important panel discussing transportation choices for the economy and quality of life. As a region, Greater Milwaukee has made great progress in the last couple years, but there's still a lot of work to do to connect our communities, to connect our people to jobs. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley joined this panel. West Allis Mayor Dan Devine was there. Waukesha Mayor Riley. Milwaukee County DOT Director Donna Brown Martin, among many others. Dave Steele, the Executive Director of Mobilize, joins us in studio this morning. Mobilize is a private and public sector group that brings together leaders to power the greater good in transit. And even though, we're kind of moving out of bike season, the executive director of Bubbler Bikes is going to join us later in the show, too. She's still somewhat new. Andrea Bolger will give us all the updates as to what Bubbler is doing in and around the Milwaukee area. But first, as we do each and every morning, especially on this glorious Friday, let's go to Up.
Now it's time for the 2 Up on the Upswing.
New popcorn, new hours, and more Fonz in downtown Milwaukee right here at the 3rd Street Market Hall. If you follow me on X or Threads or wherever your social platform is, you'll see that I posted yesterday about a new gourmet popcorn vendor that's coming to the 3rd Street Market Hall. It will be called Pop City. And while there's no opening date set yet, signs are up, a new vendor space is being built out and prepared. The current vendors at Dog City are behind this gourmet popcorn addition to the 3rd Street Market. Also, Fonzarelli's Italian Deli is moving into the 3rd Street Market Hall. Arthur Fonzarelli, of course, known as the Fonz. It's going to play homage to the classic Italian-style sandwich shop that has deep roots in Milwaukee's Italian-American food scene, a tradition that obviously goes back 50 years, according to a press release from the new vendor that's opening Happy Days themed Fonzarelli Italian-style deli right here at the 3rd Street Market Hall. The place was formerly the Yummy Bowl. I can almost see it here from the studio. So always exciting to see new short-term startups and leases come into the 3rd Street Market Hall. A little bit of shift. The Market Hall hours are coming too. Usually open at 8 a.m. for coffee. But one of the vendors this morning told me that they're going to shift hours beginning Monday and open at 11 a.m. Always changes in the restaurant space in and around Milwaukee. Second up, $16,000 for your next home? I don't know. What are you buying at Walmart these days? What are you buying at Walmart this weekend when you're out and about? Maybe when you're picking up that laundry detergent or toilet paper or whatever gets you to Walmart. You can also buy a tiny house. Indeed. One option, a 19 by 20 foot expandable prefab house. Comes with a steel frame structure that unfolds from the size of a shipping container to create a basic studio cottage with built-in windows, insulated walls, and an insulated roof. Inside, there's a space for a little bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, a dining room, and a bathroom. This all comes at a price of $15,900. Really interesting addition to the Walmart bundle. You need a home? Maybe go to Walmart this week. And of course, obviously, that's not the total cost. You got to rent the forklift or the crane to unload it and get it delivered. You'll probably need some contractors to pour the foundation, add wiring, and do all the build out. And obviously, the most expensive part of owning one of these tiny homes is the land where it's going to sit. But at the same time, pretty interesting addition to the Walmart mix. Go buy your house this weekend for $16,000. All right, this is the Upswing. We are sponsored by Horicon Bank, and we'll be right back talking the future of public transit.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here. I've got a great idea for part of your weekend. How about spending it with us on Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays on WTMJ? We check in with some cool places around the state. This week, it is Road America. Fantastic stuff happening there this fall.
Without question. I mean, definitely, we've got all sorts of great food trucks will be out there, a lot of concessions options, plus high school beer. So it's great to just come out with a group of friends. You want to do paintball, if you want to do axe throwing.
It's Experience Wisconsin, Saturdays right here on 620 WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. Since 1955, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Hey, don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Hop on the bus, Gus. You don't need to discuss much. Just drop off the key, lean, and get yourself free. Ooh, slip out the back, Jeff.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Moving transit forward in southeastern Wisconsin. That's the theme of today's Friday show. As I said in the opening, I think the way to look at public transit is always it's not a Democratic issue. It's not a Republican issue. It's a simple quality of life business issue. That's why I'm excited today to have Executive Director Dave Steele from Mobilize in studio this morning. Dave, first, let's just kind of, I don't know, I want to set the tone a little bit for our conversation. I think kind of too often officials and politicians, they talk about subsidizing transit projects or subsidizing buses or streetcars or bridges. And for me, transit's a greater good infrastructure. That's what it's all about. Roads, sidewalks, highways. They're not necessarily out to spur revenue or to make money. They're out to create public good, to connect our communities, and to be about building better communities. And that's what your group does each and every day, correct?
Yeah. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for having me. I really look at it as an investment. Yeah. And, we should always be looking at what that return on investment is for whatever public investment we make. But, framing it in terms of as an investment is, what do we get out of this? So I think about my own experience growing up, taking the bus in Milwaukee, growing up on the south side of Milwaukee, Route 19. Yeah. We called it the green limousine. Not very sexy, but it got us where we needed to go. And it was because of those choices, those options that I had as a young person that allowed me to save money, allowed me to go to college, allowed me to get some good jobs. I didn't actually buy my own car until I was about 30. Yeah. And I didn't know it at the time, but that was money in my bank account. So that gave me the ability to grow in my career, make more money, and ultimately pay it back in taxes. Yeah. So, it's similar to the college loans and Pell Grants that I got when I was a young person. I make more money and I obviously pay more taxes as a result, and I pay it back in. So it's not a subsidy. It's not a handout. It's an investment. It's an investment in people.
Yeah. So day to day, talk to us about what Mobilize does. You had a big event yesterday where you convened leaders from across the area. I want to have you give us some insights as to that event too, but just give us the organizational 101.
Yeah. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit, and we're a convener first and foremost. We bring people throughout the region together to talk about transit and transportation and what those gaps are that we need to fill. And it really starts with what are the problems that we're trying to address. So several years ago, 2018, 2019, pre-pandemic, 5 years ago, feels like 500 sometimes, we brought people together in the room, and we heard from suburban employers that they really were hard up for workers. And we heard from community groups in the city of Milwaukee saying we need jobs. And, it's only 10 miles, right?
Right.
But if you don't have a car, that 10 miles might as well be 100.
Yeah.
So it was out of those conversations that we were able to help give rise to an entirely new transportation solution, Flex Ride Milwaukee, which launched in March of 22.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the success of that program after the break for sure. So give us, how is the organization funded, and then let's talk resources for a bit. Like if you had unlimited resources, or let's say some of the state surplus on the state side at the budget is going to come to just transit. How do you launch a revolution in transit in Greater Milwaukee?
That is such an excellent question. So first, how we're funded. We are not funded by George Soros or Bill Gates or anything like that. We are very much a shoestring organization. We have a number of philanthropic partners, Bader Philanthropies, Greater Milwaukee Foundation, United Way, a number of corporate partners that believe in what we're doing.
Okay.
So we're a very lean and mighty little organization here. Unlimited resources.
Yes.
The blank check.
Yes.
And I'm thinking back to my days playing Sim City in the basement, right? Not trying to date myself here. But I thought about your question, what would I do with unlimited resources? I'm not a big project, big silver bullet kind of person.
Yeah.
And usually when you give one person or a small group of people that sort of power of like, hey, design a city, usually ends up to be pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
Sometimes disastrous. So I would start with the basics. I would plow the sidewalks after snowstorms and make sure that we can walk safely in our communities. I would take steps to get cell phones out of cars. I'm not preaching here. I use the phone too when I really shouldn't be when I'm driving.
Yeah.
And
Or at least create some more guardrails around it for sure.
Yeah, exactly. To make things safer, because I think at the end of the day, what we need is safety on our streets. What we need is viable choices.
Mm-hmm.
So I would encourage things like the e-scooters that we're seeing in the city of Milwaukee. I would encourage things like the bus rapid transit routes that Milwaukee County has put in.
Yeah. When we come back, I want to get your thoughts on that specifically. We were talking to Dave Steele from Mobilize. Milwaukee County Transit System has paused the development of its planned north-south bus rapid transit line, Connect 2, due to some budgetary concerns, but there's still a future there for sure. And we're going to dive into the success of the FlexRide MKE program. This is the Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
If you missed this,
I just think it's a terrible thing and it's unethical. If you're in the position to interview the President of the United States, you need to ask him legitimate questions, not stuff that's provided.
Or this.
And we know if they come on, it may be the last time they ever come on, and that's okay.
That's okay. That's right. If the White House gets pissed off because I don't ask their questions,
probably they will.
And they say he's never going to be available again, okay, at least I can go to sleep at night knowing that I did my job the right way.
Yeah, I mean, it stinks, but sure.
I could live with that.
Yep.
Check out Wisconsin's Afternoon News, the podcast.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank has been doing banking differently since 1896. Financing requests that can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and knows your business in and out. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. And Horicon Bank simply gets the job done. Together, doing good, that's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Longing for thick, healthy, gorgeous hair? Say goodbye to shedding thin and dull hair, and hello to thick, healthy hair with hair volume from New Nordic.
At All Right Home and Remodeling, we get lots of compliments on our work. But our favorite compliment is a repeat customer. We get lots of those too. It's what happens when you do the job right and you treat your customers right. It's how my family has been helping homeowners replace their windows, siding, doors, insulation, and more for over 50 years now. Visit us at ALLRITE-remodeling.com.
Stop by and visit us at the NARI Fall Home Improvement Show, October 18th through the 20th at State Fair Park.
Happy fall! WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Built Right Furniture, Leather, and Mattress. You know, my wife wants to redo the whole living room. Not sure what we're doing for furniture, but I do know where we're going to buy it. Built Right, just a few miles from our home on the south side. Built Right's 96th anniversary celebration and $1 million clearance sell-off is on now. All about your comfort, your style, your home at Built Right. Third and fourth generation family members in the store working with their amazing team with more than 400 years experience. Be ready for your holiday guests with thousands of items in stock plus 500 mattresses and custom orders. They're faster in 2024. Built Right has affordable, better quality furniture and mattresses, USA made, small scale, Amish made, real solid wood, more than 55 models of power lift recliners in stock. Free in-store design services. Built Right always saves you money. Voted best place to shop. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sunday, closed to be with family. Tell them Vinny sent you to Built Right, 54th and Layton Avenue in Greenfield.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined in studio by Dave Steele from Mobilize. Dave, you had a big event convening regional politicians and transit leaders, economic development folks yesterday. What came out of that meeting? Obviously, a lot of collaboration and connection, which is truly important, but what specifically was discussed?
Well, we talked about why these transportation choices matter, even if you don't ride them yourself. Of course, the bus or things like FlexRide matter tremendously to the people who use them every day, but we all benefit from it, even if we don't ride it. We benefit from it. If you go to the Starbucks, and you order a coffee, there's a good chance that you benefited from the transit route that got those baristas there to make your coffee. If you're a parent of a teenager, you definitely benefit from different choices, to get people around. So that's what we really impressed upon our elected leaders, our civic and our business leaders, is that transportation choices matter. They matter for a growing economy. They matter for the quality of life, even if you don't ride it yourself.
Yeah, and you need that collaboration between the different regions, the different leaders, to kind of bring together the funding models that make sense. From your lens, obviously we've seen the expansion of bus rapid transit, the Connect 2, and the kind of the pullback due to some budgetary concerns. What do you see for the future of that transit option?
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of bus rapid transit. I do think that it is the future. When you look at light rail, right? We were talking earlier, Austin, Texas is building a 9-mile light rail route. That's costing $4.5 billion. And, to your earlier question about what I would do with unlimited resources, I would figure out how to build things that don't cost $500 million a mile.
We appreciate that in Wisconsin.
So the, with bus rapid transit, what it's giving riders, including myself, I use Connect One almost every day. You get fast, frequent, reliable service that's safe, gets you there a little bit faster, and ultimately, that's what people want.
Yeah.
When the hop opened in Milwaukee, what people were really reacting to was the regularity, the reliability. And Connect One, Milwaukee County's BRT, as I can personally attest, you can time your watch to that 10-minute frequency, and that's a game changer for people.
And having the fixed line, obviously, with Connect One, Connect Two, you have the dedicated lane. With bikes, you have a dedicated lane. With cars, you have a dedicated lane. With a sidewalk, you have a dedicated lane for us pedestrians. It all should work that way, but it has to, at the same time, work together.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's where the coordination comes into play, right? Most of us really don't know, nor really should we know, when we cross 124th Street if we're in one jurisdiction or another.
Exactly, right.
And I always say that, the way that we've set up our transportation system really goes back to Mad Men season 1, maybe season 3, right? And I think we need to update that for the 21st century. When we laid all this out, Waukesha County was mainly rural. Now it's obviously very much not. Population of 300,000 people and growing.
Yeah.
So we're always crossing boundaries, and we're always moving around longer distances than we did in the past, and our transportation systems should reflect that.
Yeah. So tell us about the success of FlexRide MKE.
Yeah, thank you. So FlexRide Milwaukee came out of many of our conversations, with workforce folks and businesses. And we looked around and said, well, what are they doing in other parts of the country and the world to address this? And, if you've been to Latin America, you've seen the colectivos, more of an informal, on-demand kind of minibus that'll scoop people up. So that model had started to catch on in the United States, New York, some East Coast cities. I said, what if we were to bring that kind of approach here to Milwaukee? And what comes out of it then is an on-demand kind of Uber-like solution where it's a shared ride. You can call it on your phone. It'll take you directly out there to where you're going. So we've provided about 100,000 rides since we launched this 2.5 years ago. People definitely are riding it.
Great. All right. We're going to have you expand upon that a little bit when we come back from the break. WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are coming up next. And we're going to continue our conversation around transit and hear a feature about Move Out the Way Day, which is Saturday. Always important to let emergency vehicles pass.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. Killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar is renewing hopes that a ceasefire in the Middle East could be in sight. President Biden said he passed that message on to Israeli leaders.
I told the Prime Minister of Israel yesterday, let's also make this moment an opportunity to seek a path to peace.
Sinwar was considered one of the biggest obstacles to a ceasefire. Hamas, still holding hostages, says they will not be returned until there is a ceasefire and Israel pulls out of Gaza. Vice President Kamala Harris has campaign events today in Michigan. Same with former President Trump. He holds a rally tonight in Detroit. About 13,000 utility customers in Northern California woke up without power. Pacific Gas and Electric cut the power to prevent equipment from sparking wildfires with dry weather and strong winds expected. And NHTSA will investigate Tesla's full self-driving system after reports of accidents in low visibility conditions. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1031, U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin and Republican challenger Eric Hovde will meet for their only scheduled debate this evening. Question teams include 5 Wisconsin broadcasters who work with a data team to research topics important to Wisconsinites. Debate begins at 7. It'll be aired on stations across the state. Department of Transportation is closing multiple park and ride lots across Milwaukee, citing a growing number of homeless encampments. The Holt Avenue and Southeast College Avenue lots and portions of the Southwest College Avenue lot set to close October 21st. This weekend's a reminder to be cautious and considerate of road workers and first responders who are often working in dangerous conditions by moving over and slowing down. Area law enforcement agencies commemorating this with the National Move Over Slow Down Day on Saturday. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Still a mixed picture on Wall Street. The Dow is down 52 points, 43,186. The Nasdaq is up 137, 18,510. S&P 500 is up 21 at 5,862. Elections have consequences. Is your investment and retirement plan ready for what's next? Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. It's still pretty quiet out there. Friday light, 94 east from Highway 16 to the Zoo, about a 10-minute drive, typical. The Zoo to the Marquette Interchange, about 6 minutes, and 45 south from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette Interchange, 10 to 11 minutes this morning. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. It's going to be nice today. Sunny, breezy with a high 68. Clear overnight with lows 41 inland, 47 lakeside. Sunny, breezy, and warm for the weekend. A high Saturday 70, 75 on Sunday. Mostly sunny and warm Monday with a high 74. Then Tuesday, a few clouds roll in. Slight chance of a shower. High Tuesday 70. 53 in Madison, 57 in Green Bay, 55 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 1033.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
When you work at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, you'll be helping us help others. There are many that need our help, and we need your help to carry out our mission. St. Vincent de Paul is always looking for part-time team members. You'll get competitive pay, benefits, and flexibility in scheduling. So apply online at svdpmilw.org or stop by Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, or 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Happy Friday. We're talking transit today, and no matter how you are on the roads this weekend, walking, biking, specifically in your car, please be aware of your surroundings and especially be attentive to emergency vehicles. Let's hear WTMJ's Debbie Lazica and her feature on Move Out the Way Day.
Imagine driving down the highway, feeling safe and secure. Suddenly, you see flashing lights ahead. What do? Well, if you know the law, you know you have to slow down, or better yet, move over safely into at least the next lane away from those stopped vehicles. Wisconsin State Patrol Sergeant Erica Ballweg-Larson is shining a light on how important this law actually is.
Move Over Day is a day that we kind of want motorists to reflect and think about the people that are working alongside the roadways, whether that's a first responder, highway maintenance worker, tow truck operators, or any other emergency service vehicles that are on the side of the roadway. We want motorists just to kind of think about those people and that potentially their lives could be at risk when they're traveling by at highway speeds.
According to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, thousands of emergency personnel are injured or killed each year while on the job. Many of these tragic incidents could be prevented if drivers simply moved over. And if you can't move over,
slowing down is not going the speed limit past us. It's slowing below the speed limit to a speed that's safe. And it doesn't have to be a speed that's like so low that it's causing a traffic incident behind you, but it's just a speed that's much safer so that it gives a little bit of a cushion just to give them a little bit extra protection.
When workers or first responders are out on the side of the roadway, where the majority of vehicles are traveling at a relatively high rate of speed, they have practically no protection against a wayward vehicle that might creep into the shoulder just a little bit. All while these vehicles are tearing past them, they have to stay focused to do their jobs, sometimes saving another person's life. Think of how many times you've let go your focus and you've just slightly slid over just a little bit. Now picture a human being there, just trying to do their job and go home safely to their home and family. Puts a different spin on it, doesn't it? So that's why you might get pulled over if you don't.
A lot of times it might be just an educational lesson for when we stop motorists, and other times it might result in a citation. If you can't move over, we would obviously very much appreciate motorists to slow down.
You could also face some hefty fines and points on your license, not to mention the possibility of hurting or, worse yet, killing someone.
Fine for this violation can result in a citation of $263 and 3 points, and it is a moving violation. So that's where the points get added to the citation.
There's also another aspect of the law that most folks don't realize. I mean, I didn't realize it.
In December of 2021, the Act 115 took effect. That law creates emergency response area within 500 feet of an authorized emergency vehicle with their lights on. Handheld devices are banned in that area, which we want to remind people that fines do double in work zones as well.
So you know what I'm going to say. I always say it. Slow down, stay in control, and give the workers and first responders a wide berth when you see the flashing lights on the side of the road. Cut them some slack and slow it down so that everyone can get home safe and sound. Debbie Lazaga, WTMJ News.
Thank you, Debbie. You also obviously have to move out of the way for bikes. Be conscientious, be courteous to all on the road. So we're happy to be joined in studio by Laura Bogler. Laura is the executive director of Bubbler Bikes, a nonprofit bike share program right here in beautiful Milwaukee. Laura, thanks for taking the time this morning. Thank you for having me. Of course. So for those that don't know, tell us what Bubbler is.
So Bubbler Bikes is our community bike share. We've been around for about 10 years, and we have about 120 docks throughout greater Milwaukee, West Dallas, and Wauwatosa.
Okay, very good. And so stations are all around the area. How much does it cost to rent a bike? What's that system look like? Like, how do I, if I'm going to walk out today and I'm like, all right, I need to get somewhere a little quicker, how do I use the system?
So we recommend everyone uses the B-Cycle app. So if you haven't downloaded that, it's a free app. It makes checking out super easy as compared to our kiosks. But basically, if you're a local Milwaukeean, we recommend you get an annual pass. It's about $10.75 per month,
okay.
$129 a year.
Okay.
Otherwise, which includes 60-minute free rides.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you just want to test it out, it's 25 cents per minute.
Okay.
So if you walk up to a station.
And you got to download the app and scan it, and then the bike checks out for you?
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, you'll download the app. You'll pick whichever bike at the station that you're at. Press the little number. You'll hear the dock beep, and then you just back the bike out and hop on.
All right. When we come back, I want to talk about expanding Bubbler Bikes across the region. How do you accelerate that expansion? How do I get one specifically to my village? And more. We're talking the future of public transit. Dave Steele from Mobilize, Laura Bogler from Bubbler Bikes. I'm Jeff Sherman. You're listening to The Upswing. This is WTMJ.
We all have someone we know or love that has been affected by some form of cancer.
No matter how well you love and support them and try to be there for them, you can never really know what a person is feeling after hearing the words, "You have breast cancer."
Only another person that has been through this experience can really understand what it feels like.
ABCD, After Breast Cancer Diagnosis, is a Milwaukee-based organization known around the world.
When someone calls ABCD, they are matched with a mentor who is a breast cancer survivor of similar age and had the same type of breast cancer who can provide hope when people need it the most.
Kessler's is excited to announce that we've designed a new Hope Pendant for 2024 to honor breast cancer patients, survivors, thrivers, and caregivers.
100% of the net proceeds, along with an additional donation from Kessler's, will support ABCD when you purchase a symbol of hope.
You can find a link with more information about ABCD, along with the new 2024 Hope Pendant, starting at just $75 in sterling silver and $500 in gold, online at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Annex Wealth Management, investment, retirement, tax, and estate planning from a fee-only fiduciary. Forget commission sales pitches and financial products you don't need. Know the difference. Annex provides elite, comprehensive financial planning, customized to who you are and what you need. AnnexWealth.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Excel Custom Decks. I at least like to think I'm an expert when it comes to football, but I know Excel are truly experts when it comes to the art of deck building. With the finest materials and products combined with their superior craftsmanship, they'll deliver exceptional quality and value on everything from backyard decks to pergolas and outdoor kitchens. If you can dream it, Rob and his family can build it. Family-owned Excel Custom Decks delivers decking excellence by design. Visit excelcustomdecks.com to learn more.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Matschke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Elmbrook Family Dental, a great dental team from right here in Wisconsin. Dr. Eric is great. He's born and raised in Elm Grove, and he's the expert when it comes to cosmetic work with Invisalign. Dr. Eric's used Invisalign himself. He knows that would help him treat patients. He can help walk you through the process. The website is elmbrookfamilydental.com. 3 locations, 2 in Brookfield and a brand new spot in Wauwatosa. That's elmbrookfamilydental.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Is your shower and or tub space looking like it could use an update? It might be. WTMJ and Sidex have paired together to give away a tub or shower conversion. This is your chance to get a full makeover valued up to $10,000. All you need to do, you take a picture of your shower or tub space, you text it, and you text the word creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line at 855-616-1620. You submit your picture as well, and you could win a full conversion from our good friends at Sidex. For full contest rules, visit WTMJ.com. All right, Laura, let's talk more about Bubbler Bikes, and specifically as a community, or let's just say as a building owner, I want to have a station. How does that happen? What are the dynamics? What are the processes?
So the process is actually quite easy. You just would reach out to Bubbler Bikes, info@bubblerbikes.org, and we start a conversation about how large of a station you would want. Our minimum is 4 docks. We also look at how close it is in relation to the next closest dock. So to make bike share really effective, we want it to be about a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile max from the next closest station.
Okay. And obviously then you don't want gaps between communities, because then, well, the bike's only going to go as far, and then I got to walk a mile until the next station. So how do you manage that when you work with all the communities?
Sure. So we were founded as Midwest Bike Share, and that's still technically our legal name because we did have a vision of expanding beyond just Milwaukee. And we're in West Dallas and Wauwatosa. To move into other municipalities, we just need to have a conversation with them. You know, there's costs associated with putting in a station with the docks, as well as some software fees that, you know, are annual investments after the initial
And what do those costs look like? Are they managed sometimes? Let's say a village of Shorewood is looking to put in a station. Used to have a station. Now is that a partnership? They pay for a portion. There's sponsorship. Like, how does that all come together?
Kind of a mix of all of that. Okay. So if a business in Shorewood was like, we really would like a bubbler station, we're willing to pay for the purchase of the equipment and the installation, but we also want to have our name on it and have it sponsored. Right. That's awesome. Okay. In Milwaukee, the stations are owned by the city of Milwaukee. So typically through government grants, that's how that's funded. So it's a mix of government grants as well as private sponsorship dollars.
Okay, Laura Bogler from Bubbler Bikes, Dave Steele from Mobilize. This is like transit infrastructure brain trust right here in the studio. I love it. So how do you two work together in terms of finding... You know, obviously, you have to integrate effective transportation modes together, MCTS, the HOP, Bubbler Bikes. What does that process look like day to day?
I think ideally, we all play well together in the sandbox because it is a greater mission of reducing single occupant vehicles. You know, Dave and I are both kind of on the forefront of the last mile and making sure that people can get to work, home, do their normal daily routines. So I think going forward, it's always going to be collaborative between organizations like Bubbler and FlexRide or Mobilize.
What do you see as the future of e-bikes? Do you have e-bikes now, Laura?
We do have e-bikes. About half of our fleet is e-bikes.
Okay. Are they more popular than the traditional bikes?
Yes.
All right.
If you have not ridden on an e-bike, check out the Bubbler e-bikes. They're the white Bubbler bikes. You still have to pedal. It's not like a motorcycle. You still have to pedal, but it makes everything so much easier. Going up hills, you won't be out of breath. You won't be sweaty when you show up to your meeting, to work, wherever you're going. It's a game changer for bicycling in the city.
All right, Bubbler Bikes, Mobilize, the future of transit in the region. When we come back, if you had that magic wand, that transit magic wand, what would you wish for Metro Milwaukee? This is the Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Creative Planning presents Rethink Your Money with John Higginson, Saturday afternoon at 2. Tune in each week as John exposes industry myths for truth seekers looking to navigate their way to financial freedom. What he reveals may surprise you. To learn more about the show and how creative planning can help you build a custom financial plan and portfolio tailored to you and your goals, visit creativeplanning.com/radio. Don't settle for outdated advice. Your money deserves better, and so do you.
Questions you might hear a lot this fall. Will my team make the playoffs? How much snow are we getting this winter? And whatever happened to Tammy Baldwin? After 25 years in D.C., Baldwin sides with the extreme left. Baldwin voted to give nearly $1 billion in COVID relief money to criminals in prison, even the Boston Marathon bomber. That's nuts. And she supports forcing women's domestic violence shelters to admit biological men who claim to be women. Baldwin even backed puberty blockers and sex change surgeries for minor children in Wisconsin. So here's one more question. Now that Baldwin's gone so far left, why should we keep her in the Senate? It's time to replace Tammy Baldwin. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Grandview Homes will buy your home fast, easy, and stress-free. No real estate agents, no repairs, no cleanouts needed. And our reputation is built on 15 years treating sellers with the dignity and respect they deserve. Visit GrandviewHomes.com for your fair cash offer today.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself, but she's not following your directions?
Sit. Sit.
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Sweet chocolate reward. Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing. Dave Steele, Laura Borgler, join us. Transit issues in and around the greater Milwaukee area. So what do you both see as the biggest threat to sustainable transportation in greater Milwaukee? How do you see that through your lens, Dave?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really think our biggest kind of hurdle to overcome is that we have a region here that was built to drive around in, right? I mean, for the last 70 years, that's how we've chosen to build things. Mm-hmm. So, naturally people are going to choose to drive when, something's 15 miles away from where they live, and it's really difficult to do, to take any other mode to go there.
Yeah.
So that means that the types of modes that Laura and I operate, or, Milwaukee County Transit, what people want is safe, reliable, and get you where you need to go. So we have a transit system in Milwaukee that is safe, it is reliable, bubbler.
Affordable. Also.
Affordable, yep.
Yeah.
Bubbler, also safe and reliable.
Yeah.
But doesn't necessarily get you where you need to go. And it's not their fault. It's because, we've built things further and further out.
There's always dollars and cents associated with everything. Mm-hmm. So this is from the WTMJ Talk and Text line from the 262. Laura, specifically for you here, have you had any interest in Waukesha County communities or businesses in getting bubbler bike stations?
We would love to continue to expand. The obstacle for us is connecting Waukesha with the current network. So we're cut off from Waukesha, the city of Waukesha, or the county.
Meaning that you could only use the bikes within that area, or is it a technology concern?
Just that the stations aren't close enough. So
right. Okay.
While you could ride a bubbler out to Waukesha,
right.
that would be a really long ride, and there's nowhere to dock.
There's nowhere to dock.
Right.
So we would need to build out and expand and include, Elm Grove, Brookfield, as we move out towards Waukesha.
Yeah, and obviously that's the fun challenge. Mm-hmm. You want to have enough docking stations, so it really does become A to B to C. You dock the bike, you move on, you get to your destination. So the more stations you have, the more communities that you have embracing it, the better the system works for everyone.
Correct.
All right, let's talk about the magic wand question. Now, Dave, we talked earlier with kind of unlimited budget, what you would do. But Laura, look at the big lens, and in terms of kind of your magic wish for regional transportation in the area.
So it's interesting that bicycles are not included in transportation. So when we talk about government funding, bicycles are not included in that. I personally believe that bicycles are a mode of transportation. So the magic wand would be to have, obviously, a regional authority that is funded to support the operations of Bubbler. At the end of the day, we're a 9-person crew who's managing 1,400 bikes and 120 stations in greater Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So my magic wand would be obviously the funding, but also to have that consistency and the collaboration of a regional authority of some kind.
And Dave, is that something your group is working on, getting to that regional transit authority that can, conceptually help fund all types of transit?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's important that you start with, as we did that, the work that led to Flex Ride Milwaukee, it's really getting people in a room and saying, what do we have in common here? What are our transportation challenges? And what works in the city of Milwaukee might not work in Pewaukee or Delafield or a place like that, because they're totally different environments, different land use patterns, different, ways of living. So, I think we start with, where are people at? Where do they need to go? How do we do that most efficiently, most equitably, most affordably for people? And then if that means that, we then go out to Madison together and say, hey, we need to fund this.
Mm-hmm.
I always look at the sewerage district, MMSD, as a great example. We have, frankly, some of the cleanest water in the world.
Yeah.
We have flood control that would have been unimaginable 30 years ago. That's a regional effort where they said, you know what? Clean water and flood control is really important. It's something that's going to require a regional approach. So it's not that that an RTA in and of itself is the goal. For me, it's how do we get there and what are those conversations to get there? Because otherwise it would be just Milwaukee saying, oh, we want an RTA. And,
right.
It has to be regional.
Regional transit, it's about collaboration and connection. Let's have a great weekend. Coming up next, business headlines and then Wisconsin's Midday News.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
Costco International announces $200 million in newly awarded contracts, a